Hey folks, Chief Meteorologist Tim Pandajis here with you. Happy Friday. We've made it to the weekend, but we do have a triple weather impact alert going into the weekend. Today, tomorrow, and Sunday in the afternoon and evenings. And our main concern going forward is going to be for some flash flooding. So you've been outside this week. You've felt how humid it is. There's an excessive amount of moisture available in the atmosphere. And all we need is a trigger, something to force that atmosphere to rise, condense, and then these frontal boundaries, well, the one that's to our north, is essentially going to wring out the atmosphere like a wet sponge. And that's going to lead to high rainfall rates and downpours or thunderstorms that do develop, and that could overwhelm some drainage basins. And it's been kind of saturated. We've been soggy over the past couple of weeks, so ground is not dry and able to absorb a lot of that, especially if it comes down at quite the clip that we're expecting here over the next couple of days. Let's start out with a live look at radar here this evening on your Friday. If you're about to head out for some evening plans, you're looking, for the most part, okay, depending on where you are, okay? Down to the south in the Outer Banks, maybe you're vacationing down there this weekend, and you got there today. You look at the last 4 hours here, and it has just been a mess. A lot of rain through the beaches of the Outer Banks. We're talking down into South Camden County in North Carolina, Currituck County, over in Adair County as well. The good news is, in the last couple of frames there, you see the rain letting up in intensity. That's after dropping a significant amount of rain. In fact, if we go back the last 6 hours, you can see here some of these totals, especially along the Albemarle Sound. I mean, some of these numbers here, up and over 2 inches, about a half an inch, and just north of Kill Devil Hills, about a half an inch of rainfall for you there as well. Thankfully, it is starting to let up just a little bit, and that's just on top of all the rain you've had over the past couple of days. Now to the north, we do have some scattered light to moderate showers into Gates County right now. Kellogg's Fork, Parker's Fork, Reynoldson, Gatesville, moving a little bit farther to the east, northern Camden County and Currituck County, Moyock, Snowden, Knott's Island, seeing some light to moderate showers. And this doesn't even make it into southern portions of Virginia Beach, out by Back Bay, Creeds, just south of Woodhouse Corner, Red Mill area, central Chesapeake, Deep Creek, Great Bridge, over to Fentress, some light showers for you on this Friday evening. Sliding west into Suffolk, central and southern Suffolk, especially southwestern Suffolk, looking at some more widespread heavier rain. Southwest of Loomis, Pittmantown, Kingsdale, getting over to Franklin, some more moderate rain right across the state line there. If you're on 13 from Whaley headed to Reynoldson, there's some heavier rain showers for you. And even farther to the west into Southampton County in Virginia, Boykins area, seeing some heavier rain right over you right now. There could be some embedded thunder in that as well. Up 35 to Cortland, over to Seabrill, and then getting into southern portions of Isle of Wight, out by Windsor. There's some light showers for you there as well. We're not really seeing much in the way of thunderstorm activity through most of south side and northeastern North Carolina. To really see any of that, we have to get closer to where our boundary is, which is farther to the north, hung up over northern Virginia. So the farther north we go, we've got a little bit more of some stronger lift. Convection is present, so we get some thunderstorms developing. And you can see that right over the James River as you get over just east of Petersburg, Brandon area. This is just far northern Surrey. As you get over into far western portions of James City County, some rain near Christensen's Corner along 64, but really by Mount Castle as you get closer to Richmond, there's some stronger thunderstorms in there. Farmer Shop, corner over to Lanesville, north of Quinton, just to the northeast of Richmond International Airport there. Some stronger thunderstorms right now. And you can see these, if we play them out over the last couple of hours, they're moving generally to the north. And this is actually interesting here, too. Look to the south here. We start things out. Let me just go back last hour, see how that looks. You see that line that's shooting off to the north and west through Petersburg? Well, that was actually, if we go back even farther, let's go back 3 hours. You can see that erupting from Southampton County as there was a cluster of thunderstorms that actually were decaying. And so we had a downburst. The outflow boundary shot out in all directions. And sometimes those outflow boundaries are strong enough that they can act as their own micro-scale fronts and force the initialization or activation of more storms to develop. And if you watch this play out, that's exactly what happened here as this outflow boundary raced to the north and west, forced the air, the warm, humid air at the surface to rise. And you see quickly thereafter, we saw an eruption of thunderstorm activity, none of which particularly strong. There were certainly heavier downpours, some claps of thunder and lightning out into Sussex and portions of Surrey. But that's interesting to see here, some radar meteorology there for you. And typically when we get strong thunderstorms and the decay like that, we get those outflow boundaries that can lead to further development all around where that thunderstorm was. Again, here's a bigger picture of that loop over the last 3 hours. The focal point of all the heaviest rain so far today has been to the south, even south and along the Albemarle Sound. Now, I don't want to leave out what's going on in the portions of the eastern shore, because we had one very stubborn cell that sat over areas of Accomack County near Parksley. And you can see this is over 3 hours. And for the most part of that last 3 hours, that sat over the same spot. So that's why we do have a flash flood warning that remains in place for Accomack County. This is actually radar and gauge indicated. So there were some gauges along area streams and roadways that indicated there was some flash flooding ongoing in that area. And this is up until 7:15. Just check out how much rain came on down here. We'll just go back the last 6 hours, and you can see some of these totals. Quite impressive here along and east of 13 there in Accomack County. You're seeing some of these spots over 3 inches of rain, 2.5, 3 inches, 3¼ inches of rain from this cell that moved on through here and is now thankfully dissipated significantly over the last hour or so. You can see there's nothing even left there on the current radar imagery. There's another little cell here just to the west of Anancock coming in off the Chesapeake Bay, but that one, at least for now, looks to be very minimal. Any other storms, again, as I mentioned, as you get closer to Richmond, so if your Friday evening plans take you northwest along 64 towards Richmond, you'll likely encounter a little more widespread thunderstorm activity because, again, that is where our boundary is located. Right now, it's mainly stationary, and you can see it hung up along northern Virginia and D.C., and that's where we're seeing storms more widespread erupting. You can see them dropping down off the mountains there and heading off to the east and southeast. Now, a lot of that will fall apart before it gets here because the front itself isn't really expected to get here until tomorrow. Once that sets up across our area, that would be our trigger to instigate more showers and thunderstorms, heavy downpours during the afternoon and evening hours tomorrow on our Saturday, which is why we did put up a weather impact alert for 3 days, today, tomorrow, and Sunday. Main overall hazard will be flooding downpours. As I mentioned when we started this stream, the immense amount of moisture present in the atmosphere. We've had dew points in the 70s for days, air temperatures in the afternoon getting well into the 80s and lower 90s. So we're cooking out there. We've just been lacking a real driving force, a lifting mechanism. Yesterday and the day before, that driving mechanism or that lift was the sea breeze. The day before that, it was the daytime heating. Now it's going to be a little bit more of a larger scale lifting along this boundary that's going to drop in from the north and west, or the north, really. That stationary boundary that will, as it drops south, be technically a cold front, but it's not going to cool us down at all. In fact, the humidity is not going anywhere either. All right, I want to walk you through some of the basics here on Futurecast. We'll go through Futurecast here, and we'll do the... we'll go with Futurecast here, and then we'll look at how much rain we could be expecting in some spots. So here's Futurecast through this evening. We've got a few downpours out there. Again, not as widespread as it was looking. The models have been having a particularly tough time identifying this boundary to the north and where it will be. I mean, stationary boundaries are notorious for that, being hard to forecast. But this one has really been, I don't want to say not missed, but just having a hard time grabbing onto the solutions. At least the models have been having that issue. So here we are by 10 o'clock tonight. We've got a few isolated downpours possible in the overnight hours into early Saturday morning, but I think for the most part, the majority of us will be okay. Saturday at wake up, mid-70s. It's going to be a very warm and muggy overnight. Cloud deck will thin out. See some sunshine in here by midday and early afternoon. Again, the more sun we see, better storm odds in the afternoon. Highs tomorrow should, I think, get to the 90, 91 or so in a lot of spots. With the humidity, it'll feel like 95. So outdoor plans, make sure you're staying hydrated. As we approach mid to late afternoon, there's the storms beginning to flare up. I think initially they'll be on the isolated side, possibly becoming a little more widespread as we get closer to sunset. As we have that boundary, you can see it dropping in from the north and west there by around 9 o'clock or so, and then starting to deactivate as we lose the daytime heating. Overnight into Sunday, things quiet again, and then guess what? We play out the whole pattern again on Sunday, starting off calm and quiet. So Father's Day morning, want to go out for brunch, maybe go out for lunch. Okay, it's not until early mid-afternoon we start to see some storms begin to bubble on up. Again, activating this boundary with the daytime heating. So 2 o'clock, 3, 4, 5, right up through sunset. Look at how widespread the storm coverage could be. And I will also tell you that on Sunday, we do run right now from the Storm Prediction Center at level 1 threat out of 5 for strong to severe thunderstorms. So I think the main hazard on top of the flooding potential would be for some gusty winds, possibly in an isolated strong or severe storm here. And it looks to keep itself going until well after dark Sunday evening and maybe even spill over into early Monday morning. So how much rain could we see? It's very hard to pinpoint where the heaviest rain will set up or the heaviest downpours, okay? I think it's on the table that most areas will see at least 1 to 2 inches spread out throughout the weekend. There will be isolated spots that see 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 or 6 inches of rain if we get training downpours. Now, what are training downpours? Thunderstorms that develop and due to weak steering winds aloft don't get moved around, so they bubble up and they are almost stationary or move very, very slowly. And when you get an atmosphere set up like this where we are just so rich with moisture, you get flooding happening very quickly and these totals happening over a couple hours worth of time. So that's why the flash flooding threat is certainly present. So there's a look at overall totals. Don't take these with a grain of salt. I think 1 to 2 generally with higher totals than that. Flash flood watch is up for all Virginia cities and counties through tomorrow night. This will likely be expanded. I'd imagine including Northeast North Carolina in this, probably going to be extended through at least Sunday, maybe even into Monday as well, because that boundary, once it gets here, it's just going to remain in our general area. So as long as it's present, we have the lifting. And with the heat, humidity not going anywhere, we're just going to rinse and repeat. We're going to cool things down, and then we're going to heat things up and recharge the atmosphere each day and fire up those storms. So that's what we're looking at there. Plans for this weekend in the morning hours look good. Even in an early afternoon, I think you're okay, both days. It's the afternoon and evening. I want you to keep an eye on the radar, keep an eye to the sky, and be weather aware for the potential of widespread downpours leading to some excessively high rainfall rates, and of course leading to the possibility of some isolated areas of some flash flooding, especially with more widespread downpours expected on Sunday, okay? So that's what we're looking at there. Let's go back over to radar and show you if there's anything that's been changing over the last couple of last 15 minutes since we've been on this stream. And it's just mainly some widespread light to moderate showers across our area right now. The peninsulas, for the most part, have been spared. Southern portions of the eastern shore, not much going on. And even northern sections of Southside in Virginia have been dry. But you notice what's brewing here off to the south and southwest. You can see some showers and downpours there. And really, as they try to graze their way to the east, you notice them dissipating and diminishing as they do so. So I don't expect very much over the next couple of hours, except for a few isolated showers, maybe an embedded downpour. Any storm threat looks to be isolated farther to the north. You see from Richmond and north where our boundary is. You see even a few severe thunderstorm warnings as you get out towards Charlottesville, Harrisonburg along the I-81 corridor, even up to Warrenton in the nation's capital, seeing some downpours, thunderstorms, and the threat, although small, for some isolated areas of some strong to severe thunderstorms. So that's what's going on out there this evening, folks. I hope you enjoy your weekend. Stay dry. We will be updating you with streams here on the 13 News Now Plus as conditions warrant. Hunter Forrest and Taylor Stephenson in here all weekend to keep you updated on the forecast. And, of course, I'll be back here on the TV side, and we'll be streaming here on 13 News Now Plus at 11 o'clock tonight. Enjoy your weekend.